Hello everyone, Cyber here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Challenge video. This time I'm going to be doing one Maril in Pokemon Gold. I'm going to get right into it and just start looking at the stats. Maril's stats are not the greatest. We have very low attack and very low special attack. Its HP and defense and special defense are actually pretty good. I thought we were going to have a problem with this attack and special attack, but you'll see very soon that it doesn't really become as much of a problem as I thought it will be until later on in the game. As for the move pool, its learnable moves are not the greatest. I mean, the best thing that we really learn is Rollout and Defense Curl. We don't really get any other moves that are pretty viable in the run. Learning wise, TMs, we do learn a few good moves. We mostly will just utilize HM Surf in the run and probably HM Waterfall. The rest will be just basically learned moves. There's not going to be much that we really have to learn in this. Defense Curl and Rollout will pretty much take us through the whole thing. Okay, let's go over the rules. I can only use Maril in battle. I can use other Pokemon, but only for HMs. I can't use any glitches or exploits, and I can't use any items in battle. I can only use them outside of battle. I'm confident in myself I could beat this run. I think it would take a little bit of grinding, but it's not going to be as difficult. I think the Mawile run was going to be definitely more difficult than this one's going to be. Okay, starting out, I replaced Totodile for Maril using the Pokemon Universal Randomizer. This way our rival will get Chikorita and will be at a slight disadvantage. Also, I decided to name our Maril Yuki. If anyone knows what anime this is from, please leave in the comments below. I would love to see if anybody actually knows the anime I named this after. I will say the grind until we hit level 15 was a little difficult, only because we don't really have a strong attack until level 15, because that's when we get Rollout, and we already start with Defense Curl, so it's not going to be too bad once we hit that point. It's just until we hit that point, we're stuck with Tackle, and we already have a low base attack as it is, so it's pretty hard to grind through here. Nothing major though, just fights taking a little bit longer than normal and have them running back and forth between the Pokemon Center. So we get to the first rival fight, and nothing really interesting happens here. Chikorita uses Growl, I use Tail Whip a few times, and I'm hoping just to lower the defense down because I know we have a low base attack, so I know we're not going to do too much damage. It basically just turns into a tackle battle. We almost lose, but we end up actually coming out on top here after a bunch of tackles back and forth. If you don't know how Gold version works, basically your rival has stolen the Chikorita, and the police officer asks you if you know the rival's name. So I was trying to think of somebody that, you know, what could I name this rival that would represent somebody that is very rude. Perfect. We battle through Sprout Tower, and it pretty much becomes a sweep in there. We move over to Falkner, and we start the fight for the first gym. I start off with Defense Curl, and the Pidgey uses Tackle, getting a critical hit on us, and then I just use Rollout. This move becomes insanely strong after using Defense Curl. What Rollout does is it gets an attack boost if you use Defense Curl before it. So we sweep Falkner with one-shotting the Pidgey and one-shotting the PIDGEOTTO. Next, we move into the well, and we basically sweep everything in the well. This run, it basically becomes one giant sweep between using Defense Curl and Rollout a lot. So the well goes about as simple as expected between Defense Curl and Rollout. After the well, we move straight to the second gym leader, and the Bugsy uses Metapod to start with. We start out with Defense Curl and then use Rollout. Right after that, it uses String Shot, slowing her speed down, but we hit it with 2 Rollouts, taking it out. Next, she brings out Kakuna. Our Rollout is still going, so we one-shot the Kakuna. And the last one is Scyther. Scyther usually was a problem, but we still had a lot of Rollout built up, so we just have one Rollout continuing, and we take her out in one sweep. After that comes our rival, and we Bubble Beam the Ghastly. I'm really hoping not to get put to sleep or confused, because that combination is just deadly in this fight, and it's what basically a lot of run killers will happen. Ghastly puts us to sleep. I was hoping it wouldn't keep us to sleep, but it kept us asleep for a while. The good news is Ghastly just kept using Lick over and over again, and it didn't try to use Confuse Ray once. So we wake up and we use Rollout. I forgot that move actually affected it. Starting to stack up our Rollout, and Bayleaf comes out. We roll out again, takes Bayleaf down to 3/4 HP. Third Rollout takes it out. Zubat comes out, we still have a Rollout coming on, so we use one Rollout and it takes it out. Next fight, we move all the way to Goldenrod City and we start the fight with Whitney. Whitney is usually the run killer. This Miltank is such a problem, but we use one Defense Curl and then we start stacking up our Rollout. Clefairy uses Metronome a few times, but doesn't really do much to us, just uses Gust. 2 Rollouts take it out. Next out comes the Miltank. The Miltank starts its own Rollout, and we use one Rollout, getting a critical hit, taking it down to red HP, and then another Rollout, taking it out. Next, I decided it would be a good time to get Surf, since Surf is a very powerful move for us on Maril, because we get the same type attack bonus using Surf. So I figured we'll fight the... I think I'm saying this right, correct me if I'm wrong, Komodo Girls, I think they are. They're the ones that have all the EVs. Once you beat all them, you get the HM Surf, so we decide to fight all of them and get Surf immediately. After that, we move right to the 4th gym, and he starts off with Ghastly, and we use Surf right away for the same type attack bonus. I was thinking this might be slightly better than using Rollout. We take the Ghastly out in one move. Next, he brings out Haunter, and we use Defense Curl. I'm getting ready to set up for a Rollout here, and he uses Curse. Curse is another terrifying move that could potentially kill us throughout this entire run. 2 Rollouts take out the Haunter. Next, he brings out Gengar. Gengar uses Mean Look, we can't escape. Not like that's going to be an issue anyway. We use one Rollout, still continuing from before, and we take it out. Next is his last Haunter. The Haunter also uses Mean Look. We use one Rollout, taking that out too, and winning us the 4th badge. Next is our rival fight again, and brings out Haunter. Like normal, we start out with Defense Curl, and then start using Rollout. We end up missing a Rollout, and Curse does a decent amount to us, but our next Rollout actually hits and takes out the Haunter. Next, he brings out Magnemite, and 2 Rollouts will take it out. Sonic Boom does a fixed amount of damage, so Sonic Boom can be slightly terrifying, but it was nothing really to worry about. Next, he brings out Bayleaf, and we still have a continuation from Rollout, so we use one Rollout, taking it out. And then his final Pokemon is Zubat, again a continuation from Rollout, takes it out in one shot. Most of this run is just basically going to be Defense Curl Rollout. I've said this many times, but this run is starting to become easier and easier as time goes on. So next gym we're going to end up fighting is the Fighting Gym, and this gym I knew was going to be the hardest one for me because we don't really have much to affect it, because he has a Poliwrath, which our same type attack won't do much, and Rollout also doesn't affect fighting, so I know we're going to have a slight problem with this one. So I decided to grind in the Lighthouse on the way up to the top of it to start activating the quest to go get the medicine. Next, we finally get the medicine and we start the 4th battle, or the 5th gym, sorry. This fight really did not go in my favor. I believe I had about 2 or 3 attempts before I finally beat it. We took Primate down in 2 serves, and then the Poliwrath came out. I knew the Poliwrath was going to be our biggest problem, because Poliwrath has Hypnosis, has Dynamic Punch, which can confuse us, and then also has Bubble Beam, which is the water move. Not that Bubble Beam is really anything to be really concerned of, but between Hypnosis and Dynamic Punch confusing us and putting us to sleep, it starts to become a real big problem. I know Dynamic Punch doesn't really hit, has a very good accuracy, but the fact that he keeps locking onto me makes it so that Dynamic Punch won't miss, making sure we get confused from the Dynamic Punch. We lose the first attempt, and I figure I'll try it again. As per the normal, he starts out with Primate. We use Defense Curl. I was going to try to go for a Rollout this time because I thought maybe if I could build up enough Rollouts, everything would go good. At the same time, I wanted to use extra Defense Curls to increase my defense from all of his moves. We get a lucky critical hit on the first Rollout. He continuously goes for Fury Swipes. The good news is it doesn't do too much damage to us. The second Rollout hits, taking him down to about half HP. And we start building up another Rollout again. Rollout does cancel after a certain time, and it can be a problem sometimes. So we're on our second one of Rollout, and we get the Poliwrath. We take Poliwrath down by a little bit HP, and it immediately puts us to sleep. And then it immediately Dynamic Punches. So now we're asleep and confused. This fight was awful. The minute I woke up, I hit myself in confusion. And then he just beat me down. There was nothing I could do. I decided I'll give it one more shot before I go on a hard grind. So we get to Primate again, and we use Defense Curl. Again, I'm trying to build up my defense for when he tries to hit me a lot. So he uses Karate Chop. I use Defense Curl 3 times. I use Defense Curl one more time. He gets a critical hit. Now crits go through defense boosts, so it does a lot of damage to us. We use 2 Surfs, taking out Primate. He brings out POLIWRATH. I use Headbutt, and I get a critical hit on Headbutt. He flinches. I use Headbutt again. Dynamic Punch unfortunately hits, confuses us. I use Headbutt again. I'm hoping just for flinching luck at this point. I seem to get really lucky with the flinching, and I just need to get one more hit on him and we win. And I'm very lucky that the confusion doesn't make me hit myself in confusion. My confusion luck in my last run went very well. Next it's on to the 6th gym, where we fight Jasmine, the Steel Gym Leader. And this is my absolute favorite gym leader because I love steel typing. It is my favorite. I use 1 Surf on Magnemite and it takes it down to red HP. We use Surf again, we take it out. Next she brings out her other Magnemite. We use Surf again, taking it down to about red HP. He uses Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave paralyzes us, can be a very big problem. Also the confusion can be a big problem. Thunderbolt does a lot to us if it crits. So I'm hoping not to get hit with many of them. But we ended up getting another Surf in and we take it out. The Steelix I thought was going to be a really huge problem. It wasn't that much of a problem because Iron Tail's accuracy is really bad. So we use 1 Surf and we take it down to red HP. Jasmine uses a Hyper Potion. I'm hoping not to miss because of paralysis. So we use Surf again, taking it down to about almost red HP. Tries to use Iron Tail again, misses. And we use Surf again, taking it out. Those 2 fights were very close. I'm having a feeling I'm going to have to start grinding soon. It's getting very, very scary. So we move on to the little hidden base thing. I don't know how else to put it. The hidden base for Team Rocket. And everything in this place is just a sweep. It's really easy with Defense Curl and Rollout. We just go through everything very easily in this place. Also, I want to throw this time in there to ask, do you guys have a favorite Gen 2 Pokemon? If so, what is your favorite Gen 2 Pokemon? I never really had a favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. I always ended up using the Gen 1 Pokemon in Gold and Silver version. I will say out of the 2 legendaries, my favorite is Lugia. Anyway, back to the run. So we get over to the 7th gym, and it is the Ice Gym Leader. I didn't think this one was going to be too much of a problem. And just as I thought, it wasn't that much of a problem. We're 20 levels above it. So we use Defense Curl, start up a Rollout again. Rollout takes it down to about half HP. The second Rollout takes it out. Next brings out Dugong. We still have a Rollout continuing, so the 1 Rollout takes it out in 1 hit. That brings us to level 50. Brings out Poliswine, and I thought this wasn't going to take it out in 1 hit, but it continued on, and it just took it out in 1 hit. That brought us the 7th badge. From here, you have to go to the radio tower and go in the basement where we go fight our rival again. Our rival is starting to get slightly more of a problem, but nothing that Defense Curl Rollout can't handle right now. So we use Defense Curl, the Golbat uses Confuse Ray. We end up hitting a Rollout, we take it out to a quarter HP. We get hit ourselves in confusion, it uses Wing Attack twice. We use Rollout again, we end up missing, it uses Wing Attack again. I'm starting to get really nervous with the confusion, but we end up hitting a Rollout and it takes it out. Next brings out Magnemite. We're still in Rollout, so it ends up takes it down to half HP. Luckily, Thunder Wave missed, letting our 3rd Rollout take it out. Next, Meganium comes out, we still have Rollout going. Rollout takes out Meganium in 1 hit. Haunter comes out and Rollout hits for the 5th time, taking out Haunter. Next, the Sneasel comes out and we have to use a different move, so I decided just to go straight for Rollout. And I crit it for 1 hit. Next, we finish up the radio tower, and again, the Rocket Grunts were never really a problem in this game. Even when I'm going through the game normally, the Rocket Grunts really weren't that much of a problem. I basically one-sweep them every time. Next, we move on to the last gym, which is the Dragon Gym. At this point, I taught myself, I went to the Goldenrod Mart Center and got myself Ice Punch, so I taught Maril Ice Punch thinking it would help us out in this gym. And it did. You know, but the Dragonairs have Dragon Breath and Paralyze, so I kinda got scared. We end up using 1 Ice Punch taken down to a quarter HP. It paralyzes us and start using Dragon Breath. Eventually we use Rollout and we take it out. The second Dragonair uses Thunderbolt, and I'm slightly scared because I thought it was going to do a lot, but it didn't do as much as I thought it was going to, and Rollout takes it out to a quarter HP, and our second Rollout takes it out completely. Next, her third Dragonair comes out. Dragonair uses Dragon Breath. We are still continuing the Rollout, so we take it out in one hit. And her last Pokemon, Kingdra, which has always been a problem for me, uses Dragon Breath, and luckily Rollout connects again, paralysis not taking effect, and we take that out in one hit, winning us the 8th badge. We eventually work our way back through the starting town and work our way through the miniature victory road, I guess you would call it, and we fight our rival for the final time. This fight became brutal. For some reason, I was getting so bored of this run, I think, that I needed Waterfall, and the Tentacool I caught, I couldn't teach Waterfall to. So I decided to get rid of Defense Curl for Waterfall. I don't know why I did that, knowing farewell that Defense Curl was my strongest. Defense Curl Rollout was my strongest combination in this entire run. But I ended up doing it, and I got rid of Waterfall. I got rid of Defense Curl for Waterfall. So our Rollout is significantly weaker at this point. We ended up losing a few times. I ended up taking a bunch of tries over and over again. I'm also realizing at this point too, that if I'm having a problem with the rival here, I'm going to have an even bigger problem with the Elite Four. So when I decided that when I finally beat this, I'm going to grind. Eventually we get this run. She starts out with Sneasel. I use Surf immediately on Sneasel. It takes it out to red HP. Sneasel uses Screech, lowering her defense. That slightly scares me, but I know one Waterfall will take it out, and I'm hoping to one-shot the rest of them. Next, she brings out... I'm saying she, it's a he. He brings out Magneton. We use Surf on it. Luckily, we take it out in one hit. Then he brings out Meganium, and we use Ice Punch. I'm hoping that it will do one hit. It doesn't, but luckily, we get it down to a quarter HP and we freeze it. Then we take it out. Next, he brings out Golbat. We use Ice Punch again because Ice affects flying. We bring it down to red HP. Golbat uses the Confuse Ray. This confusion is such a scary thing in Pokemon. We end up hitting another Ice Punch and taking it out. Haunter comes out, and we hurt ourselves in confusion a little bit, and Haunter uses Curse. I was actually really happy to see Curse here because it brought the Haunter down to half HP, which allowed me to hit it for one Surf and take it out completely. Now the good news about curses in this game is as long as you defeat the Pokemon, Curse actually won't take effect to you. So we defeat the Haunter, take it out in one shot, and we defeat the Kadabra, taking it out in one shot, and that takes care of the Curse problem and our arrival. So at this point, like I said before, I decided to grind a bit more. I decided to grind to about level 70, and we start the fight with the Psychic Elite Four member. And we use one Ice Punch to take out the Xatu. We use Ice Punch again on Exeggutor, and it brings it down to red HP. Luckily, Exeggutor gets frozen, and we use Waterfall. I know it doesn't affect, but it's a weak move, and we can use it to take out the rest of its HP. Next, Jinx comes out, and I decide to start setting up a Rollout. Rollout takes it down to about a quarter HP. Jinx misses, and we hit the second part of Rollout, taking it out again. Slowbro comes out, and I know how tanky this thing is, so we use good continuation off of Rollout, brings it down to half HP, and Rollout connects again for the 4th time, taking it out. Next, the last Xatu, and we still have a Rollout going, and for the 5th Rollout, it takes out Xatu in one hit. This brings us up to level 71, and we can move on to the second Elite Four member. Koga has never been a problem for me in the Elite Four, and this run was no different. He starts off with Gyarados, and I decide to use Surf. I was going to use Ice Punch, but I thought maybe Surf would be better, and I was right. It took it out in one hit. Venomoth comes out, and we use one Rollout. I'm deciding to start setting up Rollout now. I'm hoping that I can get a lot of Rollouts set up before Fortress comes out. So we use 2 Rollouts and take out Venomoth. Next, the Fortress comes out. The 3rd Rollout connects, brings it down to half HP. He uses Spike, and Spike doesn't do anything, but then he uses Protect, and that destroys our Rollout buildup. So I decide to go for Surf, and I take it out the rest of the way. Next, he brings out Muck. We go for one Surf. It takes it down to about half HP. Muck uses Minimize. Minimize is a very scary move in Gen 2. I always seem to miss with it. Luckily enough, we hit, bring it down to 1 HP, and we get the final surf in and take out the muck. The last Pokemon is Crobat, and lucky for me, Crobat again is part flying, so we go for an Ice Punch, but it uses Double Team, and we end up missing Ice Punch. He uses Toxic. The poison can be quite deadly, but thankfully it's his last Pokemon. We take it down to red health and he full restores. So we use one surf again, bring it down to a quarter HP. We get hurt by poison. He uses wing attack, only taking us down a little bit. We use surf one more time, taking it out completely. The person from the Elite Four that I was scared about the most was the fighting Elite Four member. This person is terrifying considering none of our moves really affect it. So surf was our best bet for this. Hitmontop comes out and we use one surf, taking it down to a quarter HP. It digs, it hits, we use one waterfall and take it out. Hitmonchan has Thunder Punch, so it's kinda terrifying, but we use one surf, we take it down to a quarter HP, use a Thunder Punch, and it didn't do as much as I thought it was going to. So we use one more surf and take it out. Next is Hitmonlee, actually my favorite fighting type of all of the generations. We use one surf, taking it down to about a quarter HP, we use waterfall to take it out. Next is Machamp. This thing is scary and hits like a freight train. We use one surf, we bring it down to half HP, it uses Crotch Chop, brings us down to about half HP, uses the max potion. I was really happy to see the max potion. We use one surf, bring it down to half HP again, and another surf to take it out. Next is the Onix. I don't know why he has Onix in a fighting style person, but I mean Onix was simple enough. We use one surf, take it out. Next is the Dark Trainer. The Dark Trainer actually took me a few tries, basically because of confusion and paralysis alone. It took me a few tries. We take another run, we use Waterfall right away. We hit the Umbreon twice, we bring him down to red HP. It misses a Sand Attack on us, thank God, so our accuracy isn't any lower. Uses Feint Attack, and we take it out. Vileplume comes out, we use one Ice Punch, we bring it down to a quarter HP. It uses Stun Spore. Paralysis can be quite of a problem, but it ends up going a little bit better this time. Petal Dance still hurts like a freight train. However, Ice Punch brings it down to 1 HP. It decides to go for Petal Dance again. It brings us to about a quarter HP, and we take it out with one Ice Punch. Next, Gengar comes out, and same as before, it used Surf. It used Curse. We use Surf and take it out in one hit, not letting Curse take active. Murkrow comes out, and we defeat that in one Ice Punch. Again, because of paralysis, it is slightly faster than us. And then the Houndoom come out. I'm hoping not to miss, because Crunch hurts, and if I miss, the Curse will kill me. But luckily enough, we hit a surf and it takes it out in one hit. Next is on to the last trainer. This is the whole reason I put on Ice Punch to begin with on my Maril. So Gyarados comes out and then I realize I can't use Ice Punch. I can't even really use Surf. There's not much I can do besides roll out and just hope roll out works. Thankfully he doesn't do that much damage. The most he uses is Hyper Beam, and luckily he has to recharge after that. But we end up taking out the Gyarados after a little bit of difficulty, but not too much difficulty. I really thought the issue was going to come into play was when he had his Dragonites. The first Dragonite comes out, we Ice Punch it, and we take it out in one hit. I was genuinely surprised we took that out in one hit. I know we have a high enough level to do so, but I didn't think we would beat them in one hit. So the next Dragonite comes out, and we take that one out in one hit as well. The next Dragonite comes out and it's level 50, and I thought this one is not going to die in one hit. So it doesn't. And then I see Outrage, and I'm terrified. But he doesn't heal, and I use Ice Punch again, and we take it out in one hit. Next Charizard comes out, we use one Surf, and that takes that out in one hit. This fight actually went a lot easier than I thought. Aerodactyl comes out, and I remember it's part rock. Thankfully, it's a rock flying type, so I use one Surf, and that takes it out in one hit, winning us the challenge. I was going to go for the entire Kanto region, but I feel like that would be boring. If I do another gold version run, if you guys want to see me try to beat red, leave it in the comments below. I wouldn't have a problem going all the way to red. It's just life issues came into play this time around while trying to make this video, and I couldn't really get enough time to go all the way there to red. But if that's something you would like me to do, then in the next video I do on gold version, then I will go all the way to red and we'll see if I can beat red with it. On that note, I'm actually really happy I got to do this challenge. If there's anybody else, any other Pokemon that you would like to see me do in these challenges, leave it in the comments below. I'm down to do another challenge. Right now, on the top of my head, I'm thinking about either doing a Pikachu or a bit of a special kind of run, like maybe a Nuzlocke or something. I don't know. Leave it in the comments below what you think I should do. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like on the video. All of that stuff does really help me out. I will be making a Twitter very soon. I think within this week of this video coming out, I will have a Twitter, so don't forget to follow that in the description below. I will edit the description when I make it. Also, don't forget to join the Discord. We do have a community on there where we play a bit of Final Fantasy and some other games as well. So don't be afraid to join Discord, say hi to everybody in the community. On that note, I hope you all had a good time. I enjoyed this challenge, hope you did too, and I will see you all later.